Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Prince George's County Historical Society's June 24th, 2024 History Chat. I'm Donna Schneider, President of the Historical Society. Our guest tonight is Linda Moore-Garoute, who will chat with John Peter Thompson about the history of the town of Eagle Harbor, Maryland. I want to thank our members for supporting and joining us tonight. If you are not a member, please consider becoming a member or making a donation to the Society, which can be done through our website, www.pghistory.org. This helps to keep programs like these history chats free, as well as supporting our Frederick DeMar Library of County History. We do record these chats, so please mute your microphones. We will have a Q&A at the end, so please enter your questions in the chat box, and we will get to as many of them as possible. This chat and the rest of the history chats can be found on our YouTube channel, which you can also access through our website, www.pghistory.org. And whoever's on the phone, I'm going to mute you. Let's see. Now a little bit about our guest tonight. Linda Moore-Garoute is a native of the South County, or better known as Southern Prince George's County, Maryland. Linda has worked with local, state, and national organizations and has gained valuable years of experience working in historic preservation, fundraising, grant writing, and the proposal review process. Her desire for uncovering the authentic history of Eagle Harbor has afforded her opportunities to work with Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, the Maryland Department of Environment, the Chesapeake Bay Trust Foundation, the Patuxent River Keeper, members of the Patuxent River Commission, Maryland Historical Society, the Maryland Department of Planning, the Maryland Sustainable Growth Commission, and others. Maintaining a commitment to cultural preservation and sustainability, she is an expert on climate change. In climate change mitigation. Being certified as a climate change professional in the state of Maryland in 2020. During the past 3 years, Linda has become an active member of the Maryland Heritage Authority Area Grant Review Panel. As a panelist, she has focused on finding solutions to mitigate climate change impacts, creating sustainable heritage tourism projects, and highlighting African American cultural landscapes. In 2023, she was voted as a member of Eagle Harbor's Board of Commissioners. Linda holds a Bachelor of Arts in American History from Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, a Master of Science in Education from Johns Hopkins University here in Baltimore, and an Associate of Applied Science degree in AutoCAD Management from Baltimore County Community College. So I'll now turn it over to John Peter to get the chat started.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Linda, for joining us. I understand technical problems. It usually takes me a half an hour just to find the link to start one of these, so I understand. And again, I'm grateful, and I know our listeners are, that you're taking the time to be with us. So I want to start, if you don't mind, with where exactly is Eagle Harbor? And hopefully Linda did not...
Now what?
There she is.
Well, she was.
I see the technical gremlins are going to give us a fit tonight. For our listeners, I'm going to learn a lot if we can get all the gremlins out of the way. Normally, I'd step in and do all the talking, but this is going to be another one of these wonderful learning things for me, because I know so little about Eagle Harbor. I have been there. I know where it is. I accidentally discovered it while exploring by car the southern part of the county on the Patuxent side. But the history of Eagle Harbor and its people, that I'm hoping we can learn if the gremlins will just get out of our way.
It seems like she's lost audio now too.
Uh, huh. Well, let's see. And filling dead airspace in a topic I don't know anything about is
Oh,
difficult.
okay.
Ah,
I'm I'm sorry, but we keep going in and out. And are you having problems? Because I'm having problems on my end. I'm
I,
sorry.
I think the gremlins have singled you out,
Oh,
but maybe we can get in before the next gremlin finds you. Could you tell us where is Eagle Harbor?
Eagle Harbor is located in the southernmost tip of Prince George's County on the Patuxent River, which is directly adjacent.
Guess
Ah,
they
this,
struck her again.
this is what they call a cliffhanger.
Yes.
We can hear you again.
Madam President, I'm wondering if maybe because I know Linda is making every effort, but she is not in town. Um, should we try rescheduling when she's closer by and the electrons don't give her such a hard time?
Absolutely. Yes, please. I'm sorry, everyone, but this is very challenging right now.
Why don't we try that? And Madam President, maybe for the listeners, if any listeners have sort of general comments or anything they want to add before we call it an evening reschedule, because we're definitely going to do an Eagle Harbor segment. But
Thank you.
Sure. We can do that. If anybody has any questions, they can
or comments, or
themselves.
maybe
Yeah.
Eagle Harbor citizens who want to just.
I saw that we have the former mayor of Eagle Harbor on the line.
Madam
And
former mayor,
Mr.
do you want to make some comments? Oh, I missed
Yeah, you have me muted.
in-person. There we go.
Yeah, you have me muted right now. Well,
Oh, we can hear you.
okay. Yes, I was the
Hi,
former
former
mayor.
mayor.
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Mayor, please go, please speak.
Okay, what would you like to know? I mean, I wasn't scheduled to be the speaker, but
Oh, I know.
any questions that you have?
We're gonna have Linda do a full presentation. I just people who tuned in, if there was something you'd like to say about Eagle Harbor or any kind of history question, or fill us in with life in Eagle Harbor, whatever you feel like saying.
Yeah. Well, I'll say a few things. Well, Eagle Harbor was incorporated back in 1929. It was reincorporated as a resort town. It was never meant to be a permanent place of residence for folks. It evolved into that in the 60s. But prior to that time, it was just a summer retreat. And most people had small cottages, and there were really no resources for roads and other things that full-time towns would have. So back, I guess, starting around 1960, it did grow into a year-round community. And it started out as an Afro-American community, but now it's mixed, and it's become quite an attraction for folks who want to be on the water and enjoy that kind of life. So I think the last census, we had about 65 permanent residents, and the town itself is rather small. I think it is the smallest municipality in Prince George's County, I know for sure. It may even be the smallest one in the state. But most of the folks in Eagle Harbor, it's their second home. It's not their first home. Most of the property owners live elsewhere and come to Eagle Harbor for vacationing and cookouts and that kind of thing as a resort town. So that needs to be made very clear that it never started out as a permanent residence for folks. It just evolved into that. It's a wonderful place to live. It's nice and quiet down there. We spend a lot of time there off and on, especially during the summer and sometime during the winter. And the permanent residents keep things going, though, because they're there all the time. That we're just kind of part-time residents in the town. We recently made some acquisitions in the town. In the past 10 years, we acquired Truman Point, which is a historic site in the southern part of Maryland. And we have also done a few other things in the town that I guess I could mention. We purchased a town office. We never had an office. And we're trying to gear up for full-time operation in the town, which we haven't had in the past. That's being historic in the town under the auspices of the town itself. We have a artesian well site, which was the source of water to the 60s. I came to Eagle Harbor in 63, and the artesian well, which was a free-flowing well located in the middle of the town, was where a lot of people got their water, because everything in Eagle Harbor is on septic and well. There's no public water or sewage going down that part of Prince George's County. So that site now has been designated as historic as far as the town is concerned, to recognize the importance to the town. And we've also named Coleman Creek after one of the first female mayors. She was the second, I believe, now that I've done a little history researching myself. Mary Coleman, and her name is still well known throughout Prince George's County. But she was the mayor of Eagle Harbor back in the 70s, I believe, maybe even early 80s. And we've also done a few other things. Recently, all of the roads were redone thanks to our Councilman Harrison. And I can't think of everything right off the bat, but things are picking up in the town. We have new administration now, which Linda is a part of, and they've got some ideas for doing a lot of environmental things in the town. When I was the mayor, we formed a environmental advisory committee, and that committee is supposed to look into all of the environmental issues and research grants and other opportunities to improve the environment around Eagle Harbor, because we're located right next to the Chalk Point power plant. And that plant was put in the 60s, and it's been a headache ever since. And there's some things that we have done in the past and things that we want to do in the future to make sure that the folks in the town and the surrounding areas are safe from environmental issues that exist from that plant being there. So that's one of the things that has to be dealt with over the years. So those are a few things I can say about the town. It's I forget how many acres now. I think it's like maybe 25, 30 acres. It's not very large. It's the smallest community in Prince George's County for sure. But those are just a few things. I could talk forever, but I won't, because you have somebody who's supposed to be doing this.
Well,
But
I think that this is what do they call this? A teaser for
Teaser.
when we re-meet again and have Linda go into detail. But I have a question for you. Was there ever a volunteer fire department in Eagle Harbor that you know of?
not to my knowledge, not to my knowledge. The closest fire department would be up in the Baden area. And we, to my knowledge, never had a voluntary fire department. Yeah, but we also had a relationship, I believe. Now, this is going to be strange to some people, but we've had a relationship with the power plant. They have a fire truck up there and all kinds of utilities that they can use to put out fires. And we had a relationship that said if we had a fire in the town, they would come down and do the best they could for us until the county fire department arrived. So that's the only thing that I remember. I do also want to add that we have some roadways that lead right directly to the Patuxent River, so that if there is a fire in the town, the fire department can get water, because there's no fire hydrants in the town of Eagle Harbor.
Got it. Well, I appreciate hopefully the people that are listening, when we reschedule, will come and Linda will give us an in-depth look at the community, the history, and the challenges, and where it's thinking about going. So I appreciate you taking the time and letting
Thank
us
you.
know about Eagle Harbor.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're quite welcome. There are also, and I'm sure Linda knows this, there are people who have been in the town that have a lot of information, and maybe Linda has it, about the history of the town also.
Yes,
So
I'm
I'm
working
sure
on
that'll
it.
probably come out. One other thing that I failed to mention when I was talking about the environmental issues is several years, probably 10, 15 years ago, at least a dozen years ago, we became very involved with the Patuxent Riverkeeper, Mr. Fred Tutman, and he's really been a great resource for the town when it comes to environmental issues. So I don't want to leave that out. We've had a lot of opportunities based on Fred's assistance, and we've learned a lot of things about how to deal with environmental issues and crisis in the town. So thanks to the Patuxent Riverkeeper, I want to get that out there, plug. So that's about all that I have, unless anybody has any questions for me, because I wasn't prepared to give you.
No,
I have a bunch of them on the shelf to talk, but I don't have one before me right now because I wasn't scheduled to do this.
Yeah, no, I'm grateful that you were able to step in. As I said, this is like teasers. So when we get Linda fully hooked up, people are excited and they'll come back and join us in droves.
Okay, that's good. But
We
there's
want
one
people to know about Eagle Harbor. That's our mission here. So
there's one thing you might want to do. If you go to the town website, there is a plan on a sustainability plan, which is very detailed about the history of Eagle Harbor and where we thought the town should go, and all the challenges and all of the things that someone would be interested in finding out about the town. It's very detailed. It's called the sustainability plan.
excellent, excellent. Madam President, does anybody else, anything in the chat room?
No, nothing in the chat room. So I'll work with Linda to reschedule this chat, and I'd like to
Absolutely.
thank everybody for joining us. Sorry we couldn't give you the whole chat tonight, but we will do so in the near future, I hope.
Yes.
We're going to run all the
Thank you.
gremlins out.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay, thank you, and have a nice evening, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.